the Lord. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. And worship his holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I will worship your holy name.
And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come. But still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. So bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh, my soul. And worship his holy name. Oh, sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I will worship your holy name. I will worship your holy name. Yes, I will worship your holy name.
Micah Varughese, 19 years old, went to be with the Lord on Tuesday morning, January 2nd, this year, 2018. He was born April 16th, 1998, the son of Thomas and Tina Ogilvie Varughese. Micah was a member of New Life Church, and he attended Northside High School. He is survived by his parents, his 6 siblings: Abigail, Josiah, Samuel, Elizabeth, Matthew, and Daniel. He is also survived by his grandparents, Thomas and Mary Varughese, and Ernie and Shirley Ogilvie, and many other family members, and a whole host of friends. Scripture tells us in 1 Corinthians 13, it says, "We know only a portion of the truth, and what we say about God is always incomplete. But when the complete arrives, our incompletes will be canceled. We don't yet see things clearly. We're squinting in a fog, peering through a mist. But it won't be long before the weather clears and the sun shines bright. Oh, we'll see it all then. We'll see it as clearly as God sees us, knowing him directly just as he knows us. But for right now, until that completeness, we have 3 things to do to lead us toward that consummation. Trust steadily in God. Hope unswervingly. Love extravagantly. And the best of these 3 is love. My last visit with Micah was New Year's Day at the Varughese annual community New Year's Day brunch. By the way, if you've never been, you're missing out. It's very good. As I entered the house, my glasses fogged up from going from extreme freezing cold temps outside to a very warm interior contributed by very friendly people and the perfect fire in the fireplace. When I saw Micah, I crossed the room and immediately gave him a fist bump. It's what we usually share together, and many of you perhaps. I would put my fist out, and he would take his left hand, and he would do that right there. I pointed out to him that, I said, Micah, my glasses are all fogged up, and he looked at me, and he started to laugh at me. He and I shared a good little laugh. And his smile, his smile was so contagious that no matter what this young pastor was feeling, Micah's smile, it always made me feel brighter and feel warmer inside. You know, we don't see everything clearly right now due to the extreme conditions of this life. But the things that are certain, the things that we must hold on to that help move our lives forward, is to trust steadily in God. Is to hope unswervingly in His love and His faithfulness, and to continue to love big, extravagantly. This is what Micah, this is what he would want us to continue to do by the grace of God. May we do it. Amen.
A few years ago, Thomas and my family and some other families got together at a state park here in West Tennessee. We enjoyed the weekend together. We ended up down in a little cove on the Tennessee River. Some friends had brought some jet skis and kayaks and all kinds of things, and we were in this little cove, and Thomas put Micah in the back of a little blow-up inner tube type thing, and Thomas was in a kayak and was pulling him around the cove. It was his first boat ride, and I thought somebody ought to write about this. This is a pretty tender moment. And as I thought about our weekend, it was a great weekend, I thought we came out there to see that, really. That's what we all came to see. So I wrote this poem. It's called In Camden for the 4th. What I see with my eyes is a crooked boy in a carrick, his eyes wide with the wonder of life at his first boat ride. What I see with my eyes is the glory of man, one rowing with all of his heart, the other with a toothy grin to spite the devil. Fairies or spirits or whatever they are dance in the air all about, clapping their wings to see such a sight. There was a day when that ancient serpent waddled in, systematically, methodically, with little emotion, and stole that boy's life. But on a day like this, they steal a day back. The days the locust ate in St. Louis. Systematically, methodically, with prayers and songs and tears and a carrick. They give that boy back his life and more. For moments like these, the angels stand and crane their necks. They look down their noses and shake their heads, and they wonder aloud, what has the Creator wrought in the godlike? With my eyes, I see a crooked boy in a carrick, his eyes wide with the wonder of life and a face beaming utter happiness. With my eyes, I see the glory of man, one rowing with all of his heart, and the other with a toothy grin to spite the devil.
I could speak 1,000 stories about Micah to show you why he was an incredible human. However, I know that if I went long at his funeral, Micah would probably roll his eyes at me, and I do not want that. There will be 1,000 people speaking about how nice he was, or his fantastic sense of humor, or the mischievous glint in his eye, and his signature cheeky grin, and the plethora of other great aspects of who he was as a person. However, I would only like to say one thing about Micah, and it is the most important thing Micah could have been to me, and that is a good and loyal friend. He was the type of person that you felt giddy being around because you felt invincible when you were with him and you knew there was probably another adventure around the corner. He was the type of friend that you never had to worry about because no matter how long you were separated, as soon as you saw each other again, you would pick up just as good friends as when you had left. And most importantly, he was the type of person that would love you with his whole heart, even though you were just his friend. And that, and a million other reasons, is why he was my best friend and will continue to be one of the most influential and inspiring people in my life.
You guys are welcome to stand with us as we worship.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, your perfect love is casting out fear. And even when I walk in the middle of the storms of this life, oh, I won't turn back, I know you are near. And I will fear no evil, for my God is with me. And if my God is with me, whom then shall I fear? Whom then shall I fear? Oh no, you never let go through the calm, through the storm. Oh no, you never let go in every high, in every low. No, you never let go. No, you never let go of me. And I can see a light that is coming for the heart that holds on. A glorious light beyond all compare. And there will be an end to these troubles, but until that day comes, we'll live to know you here on the earth. And I will fear no evil, for my God is with me. And if my God is with me, whom then shall I fear? Whom then shall I fear? Oh no, you never let go through the calm, through the storm. Oh every high and every low. No, you never let go, Lord. You never let go of me. Oh, you never let go. Sing, oh no. Oh no, you never let go. Through the calm and through the storm. Oh no, you never let go. In every high and every low. Oh no, you never let go, Lord. You never let go of me. Oh, you never let go. And I can see the light that is coming for the heart that holds on. There will be an end to these troubles, but until that day comes, still I will praise you. Still I will praise you. Oh, I can see the light. Oh, I can see the light that is coming for the heart that holds on. And there will be an end to these troubles, but until that day comes, still I will praise you. Still I will praise you. And we'll sing, oh no, you never let go. Through the calm and through the storm. Oh no, you never let go. In every high and every low. Oh no, you never let go. Lord, you never let go of me.
I'm not good with words, and I'm not going to try and sum up who Micah was, because there's no way that I could do that by myself. So I'm just going to share some things that I knew. Micah loved to run and climb and dance. He loved to build forts and hang out with his brothers and annoy his sisters. He loved causing trouble and wreckage, such as taking Abigail's lip gloss and rubbing it on his butt and then putting it back on the shelf. He loved tubing with his friends on the lake and hanging out at the cabin with his uncles and aunts. He loved holding all of the church babies. He loved playing soccer and was a huge flirt. And he loved a good party. Micah loved to laugh, and he loved to love. Anytime we talked about friends and family, he lit up. He especially loved seeing Mom and Dad whenever he got home from school. Micah was the first friend I ever made and is my closest sibling. He was someone that I ranted to constantly and loved to take naps with. He was my personal bodyguard when we were little and is someone I will always look up to. Despite his injury, he had such an abundance of love and faith for God and was always a very dependable person. He wanted everyone to be the best versions of themselves, and he wanted them to know that he loved them. And I think on behalf of everyone, I can say that he had the best smile in the world, and it could brighten your day up no matter what. He had a huge impact on who I am today and is one of the reasons I am able to have a relationship with God. While I'll miss you dearly, I am so happy you are finally free and can sing and dance again. I encourage you all not to wallow in the sadness, but rejoice in it and be thankful for the time that we had. God blessed us with Micah, and now we get to give him back to him. So don't think of him as gone. Think of him as the boy with the toothy grin.
Standing on this mountaintop, looking just how far we've come, knowing that for every step you were with us. Oh, yeah. Is your power. Scars and struggles on the way, but with joy our hearts can say, our hearts can say. Never once did we ever walk alone. Never once did you leave us on our own. You are faithful, God. You are faithful. You are faithful, God. You are faithful. Come on, let's sing that again. Standing on this mountaintop. Standing on this mountaintop, looking just how far we've come, knowing that for every step you were with us. Kneeling on this battleground, seeing just how much you've done, knowing every victory is your power. Scars and struggles on the way, but with joy our hearts will say, yes, our hearts can say. Never once did we ever walk alone. Never once did you leave us on our own. You are faithful, God. You are faithful. 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 Oh, scars and struggles on the way, but with joy our hearts can say, never once can say. Oh, carried by your constant grace, held within your perfect peace. Oh, never once. Never once did we ever walk alone. Never once did you leave us on our own. You are faithful, God. You are faithful. Sing, you are. You are faithful, God. You are faithful. Sing, you are. You are faithful, God. You are faithful. You are faithful, God. You are faithful.
Hallelujah. Bless the name of the Lord, for He is worthy of our honor and grace, our adoration. There is no search in His understanding. Jesus grieves with us, but He's not troubled by the future, because He is the future. Grace and peace to you all in the precious name of Jesus. I want to thank all of you who have called, for the numerous texts, phone calls, emails, just a simple word. Thank you so much. You have made our burden lighter. And I don't say that lightly. I used to be a very selfish person at one time, never share my grief or my anger. But I've learned over the years that the Lord gave me people who love me in order to make my life better. And you are many of them. Thank you for that, for me and my family. You know, it's tough times like this. I've preached at other funerals before. Never thought I'd do one like this. But I don't want us to focus on death today. Death is just a station on the way to life. From the moment we're born, we're dying. And from the moment we die, we begin to live. And that is the truth, the real truth. We're all on our way there. And once we get there, we'll be done. Just another room. We open the door and you walk in. That's what my mom used to say. What is it? It's just another door. Just walk into the other room. So we grieve because we miss a dear one. But we also rejoice, sorrowful yet rejoicing, right? Because he's not really absent. He's just absent in the body. He's with the Lord. He'd probably make a fuss about us making a fuss about him. That's the kind of guy he was. My words today are not really going to be a message. They're a mixture of a message and a eulogy and some remembrances. Life with Micah basically can be divided into two big segments. Life before his accident and life after. Because in the one before, he was just like any other kid, running around, loved to play soccer, adventure, as Aaron was saying. And then after that, his spirit never changed, but his body couldn't do those things anymore. I remember when he was about 1 year old, and my parents had been visiting. I may have been two, I don't know. And I was sitting on one of the couches, and my mom was sitting across from me, and she was just watching him do things, and she started doing like her nodding head thing, you know. And I said, "What?" She goes, "He's just like you." And Tina said, "Oh no," because she had been hearing all these horror stories of my childhood, which my grandmother told my grandfather that I was his punishment for his childhood. So, you know, there was Tina responded with some trepidation and a little anxiety, having heard of all my numerous antics. He always had this twinkle in it. You can see that right there. It's like, And you were afraid when you saw that twinkle, because for him it was all fun, but for those on the receiving end, as you heard his sister say, he was a boy all the way, let me tell you. So one day we're sitting, I'm going to relate a few stories just to kind of give you an idea. You know, we lived on Ridgecrest Road at that time. And our neighbor calls. She was a retired lady who lived across the street, and she loved to sit in her window and just watch life go by her. She calls Tina and says, "Is your little boy okay?" She's like, "What's wrong with my little, which one?" He says, "Oh, the one that up front." And, you know, I don't know if you'd seen earlier those pictures of him on a tricycle. And we lived on a slope of a house, and the front was on 2 levels, and those stairs going up. Micah decided that he was going to ride his tricycle down the stairs. And apparently didn't make it as he thought it might go. And our neighbor happened to be watching, and we had no idea he was out front doing this, and we're thinking, great, DHS will be knocking on our door here in a few minutes. Then one day he came, he always kind of walks through like this, and, that means he was about to say something. He says, Samuel hurt my feelings. I said, really? Yes. We knew he didn't even know what the word meant. He says, where did he hurt them? Right here. Then one day he comes in, he's a little bit older, and he's limping. Micah could never lie to save his life. He had that guilty as charged look immediately. All he had to do was ask the question and just watch his face. He couldn't hide it. And when he was younger, I think he used to always put his hand up and say, I did it, because he figured out that it didn't always end up in a positive response from his parents. And he was limping in, and I said, Micah, what's wrong? So my ankle's hurting. So how did you hurt it? Oh, I jumped off of something and hurt it. I knew from his first response that he didn't want to say what he actually did. I said, what did you jump off of? The roof. Garbage bag parachute. Apparently didn't go as he planned. We had a little remodeling to do in that old house, and we pretty much gutted it and worked on it. And he was out there one day while I was working on some outlets, putting in some, and he says, Dad, what happens if you stick your finger in this outlet? I explained to him the effect of electricity on the body. But when I turned around, I was telling him, yeah, you'll get a shock. I saw that twinkle, and I went, oh no, we know where this is going. Well, he didn't do it right away. He said, oh, okay. But his siblings told me later on that he tested every circuit in that room. He put his fingers between the prongs of a light and plugged it in to see what would happen. Yes, that's what that twinkle means. And one day he was walking around with a clear plastic container, just frantically looking for something. He wouldn't tell us what it was. Apparently he snuck a snake into the house, and it had gotten loose somewhere in the basement. And you never know what he was going to say. He had a very different sense of humor. We were sitting one day and we were having a meal, and yogurt was on the table as part of the meal. And you go to Kroger's and you get yogurt and it says fat-free yogurt or 2% fat or whatever, and he was looking at that. So we had two different kinds of yogurt, and one said fat-free on it. And he goes, that's fat-free yogurt and this is thin-free yogurt. So at 11 years of age, which is about 8 years ago, an unfortunate accident at the house left him confined to a wheelchair. His cognitive abilities stayed intact, but all of his motor functions completely shot. So he couldn't eat, talk, spit, all these normal things, hold himself up. And our life flipped around completely. We were a family that would just, let's go camping, and we're gone. We learned a new normal. And there's a whole book I could write on the things that the Lord did for us during that period. Just miracle after miracle after miracle. He could smile, though, and he could yell and laugh. And, he would light up my day. When I got home from work, if he wasn't too engrossed in his TV program, he would yell he would go, till I came in the room and said, hey, buddy, how are you doing? And then he'd stop. That was his where are you? I'm in here. Come and say hi to me first. Forget about the long day. And I did. He was just smiling at me. And that was him. I mean, we found that picture at Julian's 50th birthday party. It was just not too long ago. That's him. And, the thing about it is over the last few years, that many of you don't know, but Micah has physically been progressively had declines in his body. He developed severe scoliosis. His joints did not grow normally, contractures, he could never stretch. And because of his condition, he always pulled tight and leaned to his right, and his right rib cage literally compressed and collapsed over a period of time. So breathing had become a little difficult for him. And his hip joint had, instead of sitting in the socket, had started to come and grind. And so, but that's the face you saw. You never knew the boy was in some kind of pain at any given moment. And I used to wonder at that, and his patience with me. Our lives changed drastically during this period. I came one day and he was just grinning at something, and I don't know, it was almost like he was looking at another realm. I said, Micah, what are you doing? I said, are you talking to angels? And he goes, I'm serious. The Lord has a special way in talking with his children who couldn't talk. There's no telling what all conversation him and Jesus were having. Bath time was always very interesting. It was an hour and a half of sheer wrestling match. And he's a boy, so potty humor is very appropriate. Yeah. I used to tell him, Micah, you're the only person I know. When I clean the armpits, the soap comes back smelling bad. And he had a bath chair. I'm not kidding. He'd go, just. He thought that was hilarious. Or any other time he stunk up the room and I told him the neighborhood was passing out. I know it may seem a little uncouth to some of you, but that was our life. More important than anything else, Micah taught us a lot of things. I've never known anyone else who has moved more people to action and to change their lives without saying a word or lifting a finger than Micah. One of the greatest of the things that we learned was how to live an unselfish life. I didn't know how selfish I was. I always thought I was, an okay person. Of course, none of us are okay except for Jesus. But, all things considered, till he started demanding attention from my life. For the first few years that he came home after the accident, I didn't go through a night that I slept through. Because Micah couldn't spit properly, and, so if he was making a noise, he could be choking to death, and we had to go check on him. And that's been our life for many years now. But, and as a human being, after a while you go, okay, enough with that already. I've been up 3 times tonight, right? And you might think that's it, but when you have to do something like that every day, it takes a toll on you emotionally. But God was teaching us something. He told me that you're just like your son, except it's not in your body. And this is what I have to do with you every day. So you be patient and take care of your son. And to love someone unconditionally, because there was nothing Micah could give us back in the sense of reciprocate, physically. So Jesus said, give expecting nothing in return. And we had to learn to do that in every small and big thing. He taught us more to be Christ-like in our daily living. It's very easy to go do good things at big times. Let's go paint the neighborhood, fix the school up, feed the hungry on a blitz on a day, send missionaries, put our money in the offering. But the every second of the day of our life is the most important time, not those things. And if we cannot be Christ-like during that time, then we are not being Christ-like at all. Jesus said that the Son of Man came to serve and not to be served. And so we had to lay aside our personal preferences, our time, our irritations, and even our laziness to take care of Micah properly. You see, we encounter people like Micah every day. Maybe not in the physical sense, but in every other sense. Demanding our attention, service, resources, etc. Expecting and have nothing in return to give to us. This is what Jesus calls us to do with our lives. It's not to consume it selfishly on our own wants and desires and all the things we want to do, but to really pour it out. What did he say? He who loves his life will lose it. But he loses his life. I didn't really know as well then what I know now, what that meant. And the things I'm sharing with you is not something I read in a book. This is what our eyes have seen and our hands have handled. And I'm here to say that through it all, the Lord has given us more than we could imagine in terms of grace and life. Our lives are permanently affected. My children are who they are because of their brother. He taught us to be joyful in every circumstance. And we are a crazy family. It's like a big cartoon show most days at our house. And I thought, we're going to do what we can. So I would take him four-wheeling, put him in front of me. One of those pictures how we strapped his wheelchair on a small trailer and Julian pulled him around with the four-wheeler. We put him on the boat. I put him on a big tube and had him tow us with a jet ski. You should have seen his face. It was like, oh boy. I'll tell you what, why am I okay today? Yes, I'm grieving, but I'm okay because this is not the end of life as I know it. It's our journey to real life. John 3:16 tells us that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. That's our hope. There's a little gap between the future party and the current one. That's all it is. It'll catch up. For God didn't send his Son to the world to condemn the world, but the world might be saved through him. And Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And I have to tell you, my friends, if you do not have that life in Christ, it will not be as hopeful as you see me and as joyous as you feel. You can tell that I'm not drowned. I will not be. There's no reason for it. We will grieve, but we will rejoice. We'll despair a little bit, but we'll hope even more. Right? That's right. Today, Micah is alive in the Lord, just as all who believe in Jesus are. One day, the veil between us and the ones gone before will be removed, and there'll be no more death, no more tears, no sorrow. The Lord does not intend harm to us. His thoughts towards us are good. I walk with the Lord a long time. I've never known him to do any evil to me. I've also resigned this in my life. Not only resigned, I've embraced the fact that whatever God permits in my life, it is good. It is good. Even when Micah had the accident, I said, Lord, I want my boy back, but if it serves your purposes better, that he stay however he is, then I'm okay with that. Let me tell you, that was the hardest thing I'd ever prayed. But I say that, and I mean that. My dear friends, choose life, live, love as Jesus did. The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
Would you stand with us one more time?
There's a significance to this song. At every important time in our family's life, birthdays, New Year's, Christmas, there's a Varughese tradition that we sing about the faithfulness of God. And that's the reason we have the song at the end of the service. Because in spite of all of this, He is.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions, they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever will be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth, thy own dear presence to cheer and to guide. inside. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.
Scars and